What's going on, people? Welcome to United View. Welcome to your daily dose of Man United transfer news, your latest updates on rumours, on transfers, players imminently coming, your latest on fees agreed, deals agreed, principal agreed, and all of that jazz.
Because
Owen.
that's happening a lot, isn't it? That's happening loads with us, with Manchester United. Big week ahead, Flex. That's what we spoke about yesterday. Big week ahead. We're on Wednesday now. How is this week feeling?
I'm going to be honest. I might have a bit of a moan today. Just pre-warning. I'm in a good mood. I am in a good mood. It's sunny. I'm in a good mood, but I just want to have a little bit of a moan. I just feel like it is. Here's what we're going to be talking about today. Obviously, as you can see on the screen, Jong DEADLOCK. We're going to talk about Manchester United and Barcelona still having not agreed a fee, still no agreement, and still locked in with the deadlock situation, as Fabrizio Romano has reported and others. Ronaldo rumors as well. We're gonna dissect those and what rubbish we think it is, because I think it's just people trying to stir up stuff outside of England. But we'll talk about it a little bit and probably quash that. United's midfield overhaul. We'll talk about what Eric Ten Hag's looking to do with the midfield in general. And Maguire set to stay, and an update on the captaincy as well. So we've got a lot to talk about. Owen, let's just get straight into it. Actually, before we get straight into it, let me big up everyone in the comment section. Remember, the United View Members Club is now open. You can join, get your emojis, get your badges, get your exclusive weekly content. And big up to everyone watching all around the world. And we would like to get 500 likes on this stream. So if you're entering the stream on the way in, because you guys are the early ones who are just getting in, walking in, taking off your jacket, shoes before you enter, please hit the like on the way in. Let's do it first thing so that we're not in a position later on when we're at X amount of 1,000 people watching and we've only got a couple hundred likes. So let's do that straight away. Owen, Frankie de Jong.
Wow, it's another day and there's more. Well, I was going to say there's more news. There isn't more news when it comes to Frankie de Jong. It's more of the same, let's be honest. But there was a bit of an update when it came last night, when it came to Fabrizio Romano talking about Frankie de Jong, this deadlock, this, I don't want to say impasse, because last week they were saying there is no impasse, but I feel like there definitely is an impasse when it comes to Manchester United and Frankie de Jong. So this is what Fabrizio Romano said last night. Manchester United and Barcelona have been in direct contact yesterday, for Frankie de Jong. There is still no agreement on the fee, as Barcelona have told Manchester United they won't sell Frankie de Jong for less than 86 million euros. Barca want full fee guaranteed, also because of La Liga rules to reinvest money. Now, he also said on the, I'm going to always butcher this, Galazzo podcast. Galazzo podcast. It's a CBS Sports.
We'll go with that.
I mean, I don't back myself on pronunciation. It's not my deal. He said also, quotes, even in the last 24 to 48 hours, Barca were clear to Manchester United. We want 85 or 86 million euros. So it would appear, as we spoke about previously, Flex, that Barca are very firm on the fee that they now want. I think the days of the, maybe something a little less up front and some add-ons has kind of gone. They know the number they want. They've, I won't say sorted their financial issues because they haven't, but certainly they know where they stand a lot clearer when it comes to the financial issues. They've got their fee. That's what they want. They do want to sell the player. But now the ball's in Manchester United's court as to, are they going to pay that? And it is frustrating because this was just yesterday. We were talking about that hopefully we were going to get somewhere in the next 7 days. And then just later on in the day, it feels like we're exactly where we were before, of two sides sort of jockeying for position. How are you feeling about it?
I'm fed up, man. I don't want him anymore. Honestly. I don't want him.
don't do the KG. You've been rubbing off on you too much.
Yeah, I'm definitely not doing the KG. But this is where I am with it. I did do, and I think it was right to do it at the time. I did the whole thing of course, we have to barter with Barcelona. Do you know what I mean? They're in financial ruins. They don't get to just say what they want, and we just give it to them. I get that. I said that. I was saying that 2 weeks ago, maybe even 3 weeks ago, at the beginning of these negotiations. This is dragging out now. they've clearly, if you're talking about a game of poker and showing your hand and bluffing and all of that stuff, I personally think we're entering into the territory of, okay, we've played a couple of rounds, played a couple of hands. They're pretty much winning now. It's getting to the point where we just, especially now we're 11 or 12 million apart. Find a way to guarantee them the money. Just do it. Just do it. If that thing is true with La Liga in terms of what they need, and actually we've got a really nice video coming out later on that you guys are going to be excited to see, and it will look a bit more into this actually. But if that is true about La Liga and that, then they're clearly not going to change their minds. Yes, there is still some barter room. If you're on the Man United side of it, you can try and say, well, I know you want to get Christensen on the books. I know you want to get Rafinha on in. I know you want to get Lewandowski signed up. You need this money. You need this transaction to go through. This domino needs to fall for both of us. We need it so our midfield starts transforming. So we start the domino effect. We can go and then focus on Anthony and la di da di da. You need it so you can initiate your deals. But clearly, it's becoming an absolute bore. And you know what? This deal was actually so exciting at the beginning. When we got back from the Ajax game and we got back to the apartment and we started seeing that news breaking, it was amazing. And we were like, wow, you know what? This is perfect. Let's go and we recorded with Ajax guys the next day. There was a lot to talk about. It was picking up pace. Then all of a sudden now it's just become very, very tedious to the point, and I don't mean to be pessimistic and downbeat, but even when we do sign him, I feel like I'm already going to be like, great. Like I felt like it
On
should
to
have
the
happened.
next one.
Yeah, on to the next one. Like they've sucked the whole fun out of this. I wanted to have a little bit of fun. And I know I'm being a bit pedantic and a little bit moany, but why can't we just have something where it happens fairly quickly? We can get excited and just have that excitement about the player. Arsenal announced that Vieira guy like only yesterday officially, but we knew they were getting him like probably about 4 or 5 days ago. About a week for everything to happen. Why can't that just be us for once? I know we're Man United. I know it's hated, adored, never ignored, and linked to age. I get all that. But amongst all of that, sometimes there has to be a time when it's just linked, linked, inquired, personal terms. Here we go. Why? And this Frankie De Jong thing now, when we do sign him, because I still think we will sign him, famous last words, I still think we will, but it's going to be so drawn out and played out. I actually feel sorry for Frankie because it's like we won't care. And we should care
Well,
because he's a fantastic player.
that's the frustrating thing with it as well, is like you just said there. The general feeling is amongst most people is that we are going to sign him. So everyone knows where this is going, but everyone's like, we know we're going to sign him probably eventually. So like, why? Why are we doing this back and forth? And we know the end result we're going to get to. And irony of ironies, right? The valuation is what, 10, 11 million off? How much dividends has been taken out later this week?
Yeah.
11 million.
Yeah.
It couldn't. I mean, it's almost too perfect, isn't it?
Yeah.
Of a middle finger to the United fans who have to sit here and be like, oh,
Yeah.
another day. And again,
Exactly.
with the most frustrating thing is, and the general feeling is, we're going to probably buy this player. So why? Why are we taking this long? Because eventually, and because again, we know how United operates. If Barca want 85, 86 million euros, we're going to pay 85, 86 million euros. We will
Yeah.
pay it at the end.
We will pay it.
It's, because eventually either we'll get desperate, pressure will become too much of we're not doing anything, or all of the above. And it's because it's who Ten Hag wants. It's the number one signing he wants. So
Yeah.
eventually we're going to pay it. And you've got the CEO in the pub saying that money's not an option. As soon as Barcelona heard that, they went, forget,
You
forget
better pay
60
it.
million.
Yeah.
Yeah, forget 60 million in add-ons. You've got all of this money, apparently.
Yeah.
You're also
Uh,
spending on beers.
I'm gonna get through these super chats quickly. Steve, big up to you. Steve says, big up, lads. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate the early morning super chat. Nate H says, this De Jong stuff is becoming a running joke. It is. It is. It's like, it's just typical of us, isn't it? Just waiting and waiting and waiting. Death by Stereo says, Anthony and De Jong announced in principle on Friday. Just as you know who take you know what. Just as you know who take you know what. I'm not really sure about that bit, but big up to Death by Stereo. Thank you for the super chat. Oh, take the dividends. Right. Okay. I'm with you. Okay. My bad. You lost me there a little bit there. Amir says, with hashtag Pog back, everyone was gassed and then his vague hints about leaving started. De Jong has started hinting and he hasn't even left Barca yet. Someone said in the comment section, I don't know where it is, but basically, why are we begging players? I wanted to find that. There's a lot of comments. I don't think I can. They'll know who they are. Geordie says that why are we begging De Jong to sign for United? Clearly, he doesn't want to sign. We look like idiots begging players. I think Geordie, I don't think we are begging him now. I think now we're at the stage. I know that was the situation at the beginning because Frankie De Jong hadn't had the update from Barcelona where they basically sat down and told him, "Mate, we're selling you." Like I know Xavi likes you and all that, but at the end of the day, we're negotiating with Manchester United for your fee. So the thing that's holding up this deal isn't can we convince Frankie de Jong? We've seen various reports from various credible sources saying personal terms aren't a problem. They can give Frankie de Jong the 250 that he's on at Barca or the 300 he's on, whatever it is. Yes, it's going to be big wages, but as people say, it's not our money. Get the players in, especially for top players. It's the fee that's holding this up. So we're not even in that period there, Geordie Joshua. I don't believe anyway of where we're still trying to convince Frankie de Jong. The whole reason why we're going this far with a fee and going back and forth, and the second bid's arriving this week, and we're in deadlock over the fee, is surely because Man United know they've got the player and agreed the player, and Barcelona have okayed it with the player and told him, we are negotiating for your sale. So we're not actually begging him anymore.
No, it does feel like that, doesn't it? That, like you said, that stage of it is over. But again, it adds to even more frustration. Is that if this fee was agreed tomorrow, you would hope it would move pretty quickly because Frankie De Jong's assuming that he's going to be going to Manchester United this summer. Again, we all know what the outcome is going to be. Everyone involved does. Barca know they want to sell the player. They're going to sell the player. United know they're going to buy the player and they want to buy the player. I think De Jong at this point knows he's going to be a United player next season. But we're just stuck in this weird middle ground whereby everyone's standing still and, again, jockeying for position, even though everyone's trying to get towards the same outcome and everyone knows it's going to end up in the same outcome, which is why it's, I guess, from the outside looking in, I understand deals are more complex than they appear on the surface as well. That's fair. You know, Richard Arnold saying it's not about money and all this kind of stuff, but it does feel like it's about money at the moment because everything else pretty much feels like it's done, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Everything else feels like there's nothing,
definitely about money. Of course it
exactly.
is.
So,
Yeah.
well, it's a transfer.
Yeah,
Pretty much
it's
always about money.
We're
It's
talking
money.
about the fee, the actual
Yeah,
transfer
exactly.
fee of him. It's money.
Exactly. So I think that's the frustrating thing. And as you mentioned, when this news came out last night, when Romano tweeted it, all of the comments were just like, enough,
Bore
please.
off. Yeah.
Just and I wasn't like that's well, it's not to disrespect Romano or anything like that. It's just it's the saga in general, isn't it? You know, if Man United if Man United fans weren't used to a transfer saga, maybe they'd have a little bit more of, you know, sort of go, okay, I'm willing to let this one, you know, drag on a little bit, but there's always one every summer, and it's always us.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it is
Sancho,
always
couple
us.
of years running. Now this, you know, it's been Milinkovic Savic before, and we didn't get him. You know, we've had loads in the past. Loads.
Even when we signed people like Maguire, that was always
that was
back
drawn
and
out.
forth,
Yeah.
back and forth.
The fee. I remember Maguire bloody played in pre-season. He played in some pre-season games, and Brendan Rodgers was giving it, you know, he's our player and this, that, and the other. I remember that. And
look how that played out. And then when we had like someone sign, say Lukaku, that was done relatively quickly. It was just like, oh, I think he's going to Chelsea, and it was like, oh no, actually, because it was meant. It happened the other way around, wasn't it? Morata was going to be coming to us, and Lukaku was going to Chelsea, and then it was like, no, we're signing Lukaku. And it happened really
put
quick.
Out stuff where he was in the swimming pool in America with Pogba just chilling, and then it was like, oh, Agent P, oh, he's coming.
Yeah.
Then it was done. It just goes on and on. But one thing I will say with the Frankie situation, I know some people are getting fed up to the point of saying we should just walk away. A lot of people I've seen in the comments saying that we should just walk away, Flex. We should give up from it. I think we're in such deep territory and followed it through so far, we actually can't walk away. Like we're
in too deep.
We're in, you know, when you're just in too deep, where even if I know this would be a catastrophe, especially from following him before the window even opened, it would be disgraceful if one, he's not here by tour, but it would be embarrassing and disgusting if he's not there by the first game of the season. Oh my God, if you can imagine that. But it's actually gone that far and back to away from the the frustration of the transfers and how the board do things, let's go back to us as fans believing in Ten Hag and backing anything he wants. I think it's pretty clear as well. He's saying, get me him. If I have to wait, I have to wait. But I want him. I want him. I want to base my whole midfield around this guy. I want to almost structure the whole new look Man United around this guy. How I want this team to look and play and control games. He has to be the main piece. So if I have to wait, I'll wait. I know that of course that's frustrating. But I just said what I think of that if that happens. But that's just my opinion on how far into this deal we are. If we don't come out of this situation with Frankie de Jong as a Manchester United player, total embarrassment. Total,
beyond really.
Oh my God.
Can you think of any sort of United transfer in recent history that would have been that embarrassing? I mean, we talk about Maguire and stuff like that, I suppose, but I guess the embarrassment really came
because after he got here and started playing.
After the fact. Yeah, after the fact. Whereas this one would be just
the Sancho one. I mean, it's easy to say about the Sancho one because the Sancho one, he eventually ended up coming a year later, but it was quite embarrassing during the first year, I suppose, because a lot of us, me included at the time, for large parts of the first transfer window when we didn't get Jadon, I was like, just pay the money. Like, just pay the
and also as well, and I guess this is maybe why some people might be worried about this deal, is that in that window there was a feeling of he's going to come, he's going to come, and then just he didn't. But to be fair, when it came to Dortmund at that window, they were pretty firm in terms of, well, actually, we don't really want to sell him this window, and we might keep him. And whereas Barcelona are very much of the opinion of, yeah, we want to sell him. We are. But
the similarity is they're both making their demand of it has to be this if we're going to sell him.
Yeah.
In that summer, the first summer, if we would have paid the 120 million or whatever it was, 120 million euros or pounds, I can't remember, we would have got him that summer. And the fact that we didn't, and there was a deadline where they're like, listen, we're going on pre-season on August or whatever. I'm always remember that deadline of August something. And we were like, oh shit, they weren't bluffing. The door's shut. They're not even
that was just anymore. I mean, you talk about embarrassment. That was the hilarious thing, wasn't it?
That's what I mean.
This is the deadline. No, it's not. And then they try and go back in. They went, no, that was the deadline. They went, oh.
Yeah.
Oh. That's like handing in your dissertation. This is your deadline. It's got to be in by this date. No, it doesn't. You hand it in. You failed. Why? It's late. That's what a deadline is.
Yeah.
And that is just arrogance, really.
Yeah. And then really 100% and naivety. And like I remember doing shows on that at the time and saying, typical us, obviously under Ed Woodward at the time, thinking that we can go in there, try and bully smaller clubs that are better run by us, by the way, clubs that have won stuff more recently than us, by the way, that have a good way of running things and have a good turnover of players, and think we can just bolt through the door and we'll do things on our terms. And we got what we deserved in that. But in hindsight, when we ended up signing Jadon Sancho the year after for what, 73 million last year or 77, can't remember the exact figure, we were like, actually, it was better. It was nearly half. Do you know what I mean?
And in retrospect, you're like, if we'd have paid 120 million or euros, whatever, you'd go, that could have been bad.
Do you know what I mean? But look, essentially, I think you said this before when we were talking about transfers, or we could have been on the phone, I think, and it was a good point. Essentially, once the season starts and Man United are doing good or bad or indifferent, and the squad is what it is, in September, November times, once we've had quite a few games and Frankie de Jong's been playing well, or whoever it is, it isn't about, why we still should have got him in the first week. It changes, doesn't it? It changes.
The focus shifts.
Yeah, if Frankie de Jong is here by tour and goes on tour, when it happens, we'll still be like, should have got him earlier. It's not as fun, like I said earlier, but we'll still, when we see him in that first game against Liverpool playing, we're like, right, we can start looking forward. I mean, I don't know if that's going to happen, but I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there.
Well, and also as well, I know it's slightly different, but if you could say like, Ronaldo and Varane came in late last season, had they come in earlier, 2 or 3 weeks earlier, would have actually really made any difference to United, do you think?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's be honest, it wouldn't have.
No.
We still would have rubbish.
Exactly. We're going to go through some of you guys' comments now. Make sure you guys smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Before I get that first comment out, I just want to say a big welcome to Josh MUFC, Talk Football. not our Josh, that he hasn't joined the United United View Members Club. So welcome to the UV Members Club, Josh. Big up to you. Let's get his first comment out. Pladini YT says, when do we have a proper playing style? When we do have a proper playing style that attracts players, then we can have the talk of we don't need to beg anyone. We'll be in the driving seat, but for now, we need to appreciate who we get. Yeah, agreed. I've been saying that for a while. We're in a position where we do need to say beg players, but convince players. Anomi says Man United should walk away. They need to make a statement. People will know that they can go no longer, that they can no longer be toyed with. Anomi says. Okay, so a different opinion there, saying we should walk away. I don't know, man. Because what would worry me about walking away is I don't think the next replacement is really lined up of who Ten Hag really wants. It would be settling for a Ruben Neves. It would be settling for, I don't know, hijack Tillerman's last minute. Our plan is to get De Jong, and for the future,
and that might be letting the manager down. People talk about letting the manager down, or he's not been backed or whatever. I think this is the one player. Now, I hope we sign more than De Jong this summer, obviously. But I think if we sign him, then Ten Hag would be like, yeah, I haven't been let down, because that's who I wanted. Yeah, that was the one person I really wanted.
I've been backed from the off. Yeah, exactly. Delivas says they should pay money and get the deal. Why the manager and the fans have to worry about it? Yeah, why should we have to worry about it? I hear what you're saying. They should just pay the money and get it done. And Benjamin says it's high time. It's high time United stops the impression of being cajoled to spend high. Cajoled? Is that the right way of saying that? Cajoled?
I think so.
Yeah. Don't know that word. Do you know what I love about obviously doing this as well? You can increase your vocabulary. You've got to keep your mind open, mate. And just, there's some words that I've
every
not
day's
really
a school
seen
day.
Before. 100%. Big up Luke Evans says Barca probably aren't going to sign Bernardo Silva until they sell De Jong. We have that bargaining power. Just got to wait a little longer, I feel. That's an optimistic side. And that's touching on what I was saying earlier. I forgot about Bernardo Silva as well, actually. If they really want him, and I was reading that Bernardo Silva would be open to that move as well. They wanted him from last year. If you think about it, that would be a big scout for them and wanting to play in a different way. And they could get him, but like I said, that domino needs to fall. Techno Junkie says 80 million. Maguire is the captain, and the club is being hesitant about a top player in De Jong. It's pathetic. Yeah, exactly. Just pay the money. If they paid that much for Harry Maguire, and look how that's turned out, then there you go. So there you go. That's the comments on that. Let us know how you're feeling about the Frankie De Jong situation. It is rumbling on. It is going on and on and on. I am tired of it, to the point of the excitement has gone. It's just a formality. You know what I mean? Smash a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new. How many likes have we got right now? Let's have a look. We have got 271, and there's 1,200 of you watching. Come on, guys. You know what to do. Danny Palmer, thanks for the super chat, says, can never catch you live due to work. Just sharing love for your hard work, Flex and Owen. You keep growing, my man. Trust Eric Ten Hag, not the board. Let's see. Thank you very much, Danny. Glad you can
appreciate that, Danny.
Yeah, 100%. Glad you can get to us early as well. You've now seen us live as well, so big up to you, man. Appreciate that. Owen, next topic: Ronaldo rumors. Ronaldo rumors, man. What's going on here, man? Wow. Is that how bad the transfer window is that we're going there now? Yeah.
We will read these, and then I shall share my opinion, because I have a few on this one. So this comes from an outlet called Manu Sains, which I believe is based in Spain. I think it's based in Spain, or they're based in Spain, saying that the current scenario at Manchester United has Cristiano Ronaldo worried, as he does not want to exhaust one of his final seasons in elite football without options to add more trophies to his record. This continues. Cristiano Ronaldo was determined to fulfill the remaining year of his contract at Manchester United, but now has doubts. With the arrivals of Haaland at Manchester City and Darwin Núñez at Liverpool, he fears that the distance between those clubs and United will grow greater. Ronaldo wants reinforcements at Manchester United, but so far it does not seem the club is going to enforce the squad changes that he considers necessary. Now, I find these Ronaldo stories somewhat humorous, Flex, to be honest with you, because I feel like they ignore the obvious. And the obvious is that Eric Ten Hag has said on multiple occasions that he likes Cristiano Ronaldo. He thinks he's one of the greatest players ever. He expects goals from Cristiano Ronaldo this season. And domestically, we have heard practically nothing about Ronaldo wanting to leave or Ronaldo being upset or Ronaldo being worried or this, that, and the other. It comes from these European outlets, whether it's Italy, whether it's Spain, whether it's, wherever. And I just feel like it's almost like Manchester United are so quiet in the transfer window that they go, well, what do we do? Well, the greatest hits is Cristiano Ronaldo. Let's say he's going to want to leave. Let's say he's going to be considering his options. Let's look at this in reality. If Cristiano Ronaldo was worried about wasting one of his final years at elite football, wouldn't he have realized that a while ago? Why would he realize that now? He would have realized that before the end of last season. This club's going nowhere. He probably figured it out, 5 weeks in to his time at Manchester United. This isn't the same. We've heard the stories about him being upset about the training ground and what have you. He'd have realized that pretty quickly. So this stuff now, again, I don't think it kind of lives in reality. Ronaldo might be worried, and Ronaldo might think, for one of my final years at the top level, I'm not going to win anything, but he's not going to go anywhere because, frankly, no one else can afford to take him at this point. His contract, when you take in his salary, bonuses, everything above, comes to like nearly £1 million a week. Nobody's paying that. Nobody's paying that at this point.
Yeah.
And again, even if you want to take that out of it, Erik ten Hag wants him. He said it. He wants him several times. And it was funny, before Erik ten Hag did that in that exit interview of Ajax, you had people going, oh, Ronaldo under Ten Hag, how is that going to work? And then Erik ten Hag's looking through these pictures in the Ajax video. It's one of him when he was manager of Ajax, and I think he's playing Juventus. And he's going, are you talking to Ronaldo? And he's, oh yeah, he's one of the best players ever. He's fantastic. I can't wait to work with him. And everyone goes, oh, actually, he does like Ronaldo. Okay. And then, but then what happens? A couple weeks later, more stories. How's it going to work? He might not fancy him. Press conference. Cristiano Ronaldo, how's that going to work? He's one of the best players ever, but I'm not going to talk to you. I'm going to talk to him. And he goes, what do you expect from Ronaldo? Goals. And then everyone goes, oh, okay. Actually, yeah, he wants to work with Ronaldo, even though he told us that before. And then a couple weeks later, he's not sure, Ronaldo. Maybe he wants to leave. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Like,
And Romano done, I think he put something out a few weeks back saying, he's expected to stay, difficult for anyone else to pay his wages and stuff like that. Look, there are two sides to this. I see a lot of people in the comments kind of alluding to it. And some people on Twitter have said, look, the guy who's reported this is actually, has close ties with George Mendes as well, which is why some people are sort of saying, ears are pricking up, eyes are opening a little bit wider, eyebrows are raising, because this guy, Manu Sainz, he's usually got quite a good track record of Ronaldo news because he's got ties with George Mendes. So that's why some people are a little bit like, well, that's a bit out of the blue. I mean, my gut feeling on it is I agree with everything you just said. I just think that going into this key part of the window, I think Ronaldo leaving, when it already looks like we're not going to go and get that out and out number 9. We've seen a lot of talks about trying to get a forward and the importance of supporting Ronaldo. But when the Darwin Núñez thing happened, which, even though I think it was right, we shouldn't have spent that much money on him, we were clearly trying to get him at the beginning. And when it became unattainable because of the price, that was probably our number 1 9 target gone. And I'm not sure we've got another one. That hence we're looking at an Anthony, or it was an Nkunku, like a multifunctional forward who can come in and help score goals. My gut feeling is that I think it's just there's nothing really much going on. And also, it's one of those ones where, remember when I say, when we throughout the season, when all the leaks were coming out, and you had to try and decipher what was definitely real versus what wasn't, because there was so much that could easily be true that me and you could go to Twitter and say, sources say, McTominay went in the changing room and went crazy at someone. Yeah, because they just lost 4-0, so that's believable, but it doesn't mean it's true. I just think the fact that you paint the story of Ronaldo's elite mentality, wants to win. He's in the last few years of being at the top. Of course, it's believable that he'd be frustrated, like us fans, that I have the lack of reinforcements so far. Of course, because Ronaldo's got this, everything's high value, everything's elite. So somebody like him, if he's looking around saying, look at the shit season we've had, which, if you ask him, do you think they've done enough to strengthen the squad? Obviously, right now, he's going to say no, because we haven't bought anyone. So there's that element of, are these stories coming out? Some people saying, is he trying to pressure the board and stuff like that? I don't know. Does Ronaldo have that much weight in this new look, Man United to be able to bang on the door and say, go and buy this player, go and buy that player. He has a lot of weight where he can do what he wants in terms of his own future. So if he says, do you know what, I've had enough, I get that. But
I agree with
you
that. If he
know,
wanted to go,
he can go.
tomorrow, he
Yeah.
could probably go. He could probably
Yeah.
force
So I
that,
don't
but
think
he
we should
was
rule that out. Like,
no,
say,
no,
just
like a bit
say
like Juventus, where he just went, I'm off.
exactly.
You
He
can
just
do
went, I'm
that,
off.
but you
But
would also
telling us who
say
to buy
it's
and stuff.
options. No, I mean, I think back to last season when Ollie got sacked, and it was Ronaldo's pushed really hard to get Luis Enrique, and everyone went, okay, and then Luis Enrique came out and went, well, he hasn't, because I'm not
Yeah.
going anywhere, and no one's
That's
spoken to
mad.
me. You know, I feel
Yeah.
it's just like you said there, or alluded to there. It's just easy. It's
Yeah.
easy to say like Ronaldo demands this and Ronaldo wants that. Like do feel like sometimes he does make requests or demands, i.e., with the training ground, that whole thing with the pool. He's like, this hasn't changed since I was last here,
Yeah. Yeah.
and almost out of embarrassment, the club goes, actually, yeah, that is quite embarrassing. That's ridiculous.
We've
We'll
burnt
do
through the
that.
cash.
Stuff like that. We're burning through cash, mate.
That is a
That's
lie,
fine.
mate.
That's fine. That's a t-shirt, isn't it? We're burning through cash
Oh,
with
Josh.
Richard Arnold and a cigar or something like that. We're burning through cash. Write it down, Josh. Write it down.
Mate,
Write it down.
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
Burnt through cash, mate. It's the little things that make you laugh because there's
exactly
all going on.
Exactly.
Oh,
but yeah,
shit.
I do feel like, certain things he makes requests about, but this whole, I'm worried about my final seasons or one of my final seasons. That's probably true.
Of
But
course.
again, as I said before, like he would have come to that conclusion ages ago. And he's not naive enough to think like we were going to do all of this business in one summer that's going to turn us around and we're going to be competing for trophies next season. He knows that's not going to happen. He knows that it's a high chance we're not going to win anything again. But as the report says, part of it's probably true. He intends to see out the final year of his contract. I don't know if I expect him to stay longer than that. We do have the option of a year, and I tell you what, it would almost be ballsy of Manchester United, wouldn't it, to be like, actually, Cristiano, we're gonna use that option. We're gonna keep you here for another year. Like you would think the good faith would be at the end of the season. Do you want to stay for another year? If so, we'll use that option. If not, you can go and you can go elsewhere and do what you want. But maybe that will depend on what this season looks like, right? If at the end of this season, he does believe that actually, if we have a good transfer window, maybe I can win something in my final year at United. Maybe I can do that. Then maybe that will change. But now, like I think it was, we were talking about the other day, talking about selling players. We can't sell players who want to leave the club, let alone someone like Cristiano Ronaldo. I would be very surprised by that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I can't. I would be shocked if he left, especially now. I think the striker's just not going to happen. Not going to happen.
And if we do get rid of him, by the way, we don't have a striker.
Mate, we'd be effed.
we do. I'm still concerned about that anyway, of being like, oh, well, we're going to wait till next year to get a striker. We've got one. We've got one traditional striker.
Yeah.
But people like, oh, it was yesterday, Rashford's going to play through the middle in pre-season. That's out of necessity because we've got no one else.
100%. That's what's going to happen, though. He's going to end up being the second striker when Ronaldo needs a rest. Yeah. I think KG's right on that one. Or if you can't get a suitor for Martial and he doesn't go out on loan, he just, holds bench most of the time, comes on late in games, and starts to come on in games. We're going to take some of the comments as well on this before we move on, see what everyone's saying in the comment section regarding this. Joe Isaac says, remember how he laughed during our beatdown at Brighton? If we can't land anything meaningful, any meaningful signings by pre-season, CR7 is gone. Okay, we'll have to wait and see if it gets to the end of pre-season, we ain't signed anyone. Does he try and do a late move? I doubt it though. Some North says Ronaldo does Ronaldo. His heart is on things above that. His end of days. I sat sporting, so big up the GOAT. Is that? Oh, I read that right? Is it just jumbled up a bit? I think I've read it right. He is a GOAT, but he does what he wants to do. Like I said, he does what his heart does. He does what his heart wants to do. And Franway Nabe. Is that right? I'm going to go with that. Ronaldo leaving this summer, definitely as well. You're saying definite. Wow. Some people, you should put get a poll up. Do you think Ronaldo? Do you think Ronaldo will leave? I think this is quite interesting. Seb B says Ronnie will be tempted to leave if he doesn't see some positive movement in this window. So I know it's not a massive sample size, but the last few comments at least have suggested that if he doesn't see the right moves being made, then we could lose him towards the end of the window. Could you see that, Owen?
Imagine that at a later stage as well,
Oh,
because
that'd
of
be crushing, bro.
not only the knock-on effect of not signing anyone. You'd be like, well, we're unbelievably liked. We haven't signed anyone, and we're still rubbish. But also, we lost Cristiano Ronaldo because we didn't sign anyone. That would just be talk
Didn't show
about
enough
a
ambition.
catastrophe. Yeah, oh, that would be unbelievable.
That'd be shocking. Emma K says, well, he could have looked at the team and our play style before he even came here in the first place and see if we were going to win anything anytime soon. Basically, he would have known that we're shit. Basically, Emma's saying, yeah, I get what you're saying there. It wouldn't have been, well, I think it was an extra surprise. I know Ronaldo didn't think we was amazing and knew where we was roughly, but I don't think he would have envisioned it being as bad. Well, we didn't. We thought
Yeah,
we'd have
and
a title
also as well,
challenge.
he probably saw they finished second the season prior. They've signed Varane, who I know quite well, signed Sancho. You know, he probably thought, like a lot of people did, they're not a million miles off. I can get them over the edge.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the case.
No, not at all. It was completely the opposite. Lil Yo-Yo says CR7 and KG are equally stressed. What are the odds? Definitely equally as stressed.
Well, KG was saying that Ronaldo's going to leave, and he was encouraging a lot of people to put on a lot of bets when they shouldn't have been putting them on. Okay,
and now
so if he does leave, imagine if he does leave, he'd be like, "I told you, I told you." It'll be typical KG analysis. He throws stuff at the wall, it doesn't happen for like, and then like 6 months later, he goes, "Told you, told you."
That is typical KG, isn't it? Did you see them cartwheels he was doing yesterday as well? They were the
You know what?
exact cartwheels I knew would happen.
I was impressed. I was impressed by them because I didn't expect. There were a couple of them. The leg was pretty low, okay, but there was like 7 in a row, you know. And the best thing about it is the thing that really tickled me is after maybe like I think it's like the 3rd or 4th one, you can hear his voice going, "Come on, come on." It's his running commentary when he was doing it.
Honestly, that guy. Shalil Patel, thanks for super chat, says, did you see the Sky Sports Premier League tweet about Anthony? I didn't. Or was that yesterday's one where they're just saying that talks have initiated? I'm not sure. Oh, no. No, I think I might have missed that. Let me know what that was. I haven't seen anything recent about that. We'll have a little check. But, okay, I can't really see anything. Let's go. United midfield overhaul, Owen.
Yes, so this comes from Paul Hurst from The Times, talking about Manchester United priorities in the transfer window are to improve the midfield and forward areas. As we're talking about Anthony there, that talks are underway with Ajax over the potential signing of Brazilian winger Anthony. What I did want to reference in this one, though, Flex, when we're talking about a midfield overhaul, is if we sign Frankie de Jong, I mean, could you say Eriksen's technically a midfielder? That counts as the overhaul. But I'm almost failing to. But I'm failing to see where this like entire overhaul of the midfield comes from, shall we say, in terms of transfers.
Because there's saying that Fred is going to still be there, McTominay's still
well,
no,
it's just like, you know, I'm thinking like quite a few signings of a midfield overhaul. And I'm seeing De Jong.
And Eriksen, maybe.
Yeah, but like, I don't even know if I see Eriksen as a far more sort of advanced player. You know, I look at that midfield, I look at the people that are more around sort of the halfway line or a little bit behind that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mean, maybe if you include Donny in it, and they're doing the whole Donny's like a new signing, but I'm already sick of hearing that because he's not, because he was bought in 2020. He's not a new signing. He can play like a fresh player.
He'll be like a new signing though. He'll feel like a new signing when he's unleashed. When he's playing well under Ten Hag, we're like, wow,
he better.
This is the Donny we wanted to see.
Think about it. How much pressure is on him? How much pressure is on Donny at this point?
Still would die. If I'm telling you now, if Donny has a shit season where he actually gets given opportunities and just looks off the pace, just looks like he can't get going, even under this guy now, where this is his guy who even sent him here, if he doesn't even get a tune out of him, it's over. Donny needs. You
could argue there is more pressure on him now than was when he was first signed by Manchester United.
No, not argue. Fact.
When he was signed by United, we thought we were getting Champions League semi-final player, right? And for whatever reason, didn't happen. Didn't play. Manager didn't really want him. Didn't get opportunities. That's fair. But now we are expecting that player because the conditions have changed, because it's the player plus the manager plus the system. Yeah. So it's like, well, we're expecting that player. And it's sort
plus
of like,
maybe Frankie de Jong.
plus Frankie. Yeah, so plus the player you were playing with, your friend. Like, talk about
You got your
optimal
manager,
positions,
your friend. What more
your
do you want?
system.
Maybe Anthony on the right wing. I don't know if Van der Beek was there then. I don't know. Maybe not.
I
But
don't know, but
yeah,
like, you know,
still, you can
maybe
still
that's where
talk
the
about
overhaul
Ajax
comes from.
together.
Yeah,
Do you know what
exactly.
I mean, it's another Ajax connection. If Donny's got a big season, man, a huge season. It is a challenge for Ten Hag as well because Ten Hag's got to get used to the league, and we can't expect miracles from Ten Hag straight away. Obviously, I know we keep going back to the references of all them Ajax fans that we spoke to when we took that trip over there, and when we talked to we took Ajax guys. Patience, patience, patience. Give the man time. That was a shit Dutch accent, but
It
that's
was worse than mine. Oh, well, mine was worse
no,
when I
it
tried
wasn't
it
worse than
before. I've
yours.
stopped.
It wasn't.
Yeah, I can't do them. I
Give him,
always
give him
get.
time. Time. He needs time. If you give Ten
That
Hag
wasn't bad.
time, that's not bad, is it?
Yeah, that wasn't
Time.
bad. Yeah. Time.
Yeah. Give him
It's
the
always with
time.
impressions. There's always a word, isn't it? You start off with a word and you sort of build out from there.
Yeah. Of course. Yes, of course. If you give Eric Ten Hag the time, he would deliver with the time. That's not bad. It's
Yeah,
not bad. It's not the
that's
worst.
not bad.
It's
I'll
not
take
bad.
that.
Yeah, I'll take that. If we took, hopefully Ajax is listening or sees this, he would give me a grade.
Yeah.
Or just say, don't ever speak my
Yeah, ever.
accent again.
Yeah, or don't ever
do that
and don't ever talk to me again. It's horrifying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it is about the time. He needs the time. So
And
the thing,
titles.
yeah, 100%. So if he does have that time, Ten Hag, and can get a tune out of Donny, great. But it's only going to be afforded so much with the likes of Donny because he's in his third season. But we do need a bit of patience because he literally has not been given a proper chance. It'd be interesting to see. And what would speak even more volumes is imagine that even after pre-season and whatnot, excuse me, he's just not starting. He's not starting it. He's still going with McTominay and Fred over
Yeah,
Donny.
imagine first game of the season. Brian at home, Donny's on the bench.
I got a feeling he will be.
You reckon?
I would like to see a world where we get Frankie de Jong and then you see Donny in the same midfield, and then obviously it'd probably be Bruno. But the argument or the counter to that instantly is, does that midfield have enough bite in it? But you could counter that by saying that would be a midfield that would probably want to keep the ball the most, manipulate the ball, and have the
Depends on
ball,
your
and just
opponent
be
as well.
Yeah, it depends on your opponent. Brighton, who can play ball, they can knock it about, But if we are, sometimes it's not just about how physical the player is. Like, are they like a Fred who can run around everywhere and get to people quick? Sometimes it's just about how quickly players can follow instructions to become a block together as a unit to then be hard to break down. Bernardo Silva's not the quickest. He gets back into position and makes things happen. Kevin De Bruyne is not super fast, but what it is it's their understanding of where to be when they don't have the ball very quickly. And obviously it helps when you do have a straight sitter like a Rodri, like a Fabinho, like a Jorginho maybe. But I'm not saying that these players are as good as De Bruyne or as good as Bernardo Silva. And what my point is that sometimes if you don't have a combative midfield like a Fred or a McTominay, who are their main attributes is the physicality of running around and being energetic, even though we're not very good in that department. Sometimes it's about just manipulating the ball where you don't have to be running around and understanding when you lose it, let's just be back in this shape. Let's get everyone back behind the ball in this shape. That makes you hard to beat from the off. Forget pressing, forget counter press, forget all of that. They're things that come and take your game to the next level. But the basic understanding of getting back quickly into position behind the ball. You look at City's shape when they lose it. You look at Liverpool's shape when they lose it. There's a lot made about their pressing, which I get it, playing high up the pitch, but I don't think what is spoken about enough is their actual organization. Players getting into position as a trigger of when they've lost the ball. They can't always win the ball back by a press. Sometimes you actually look at them, they're actually all behind the ball. Then they win it back quick as well by just smothering, and the move breaks down, and then they all move. Then they all move in tangent forward. So back to my point is, if it is Donny, Bruno, and Frankie, it does give me a couple of vibes of, oh, is that combative enough? But if Ten Hag does what we think Ten Hag is able to do, maybe that midfield might surprise us in certain
I
games.
think Donny will start against Brighton, and depending on the Frankie de Jong situation, we could be in a situation whereby, like, that might be the only player in that squad that Ten Hag can look at and goes, he knows exactly what I want. He knows exactly how to play. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, that would be working under the assumption that either De Jong's just happened or he hasn't happened yet. And can you imagine that, by the way? Talking like 7 weeks' time, we still wouldn't have signed Frankie De Jong. That would be a madness. But we were talking before about all of these targets and people saying, oh, why are they always going back to Ajax or why are they linked to people he's worked with in the past? It's because we're talking about time and it's going to take time. But I think he's also conscious, Ten Hag, that maybe whilst he's got a long contract and whilst he's being reassured that he's going to be given time, he knows the situation at Manchester United. He knows in reality, if it really goes bad, he don't have a lot of time. So he wants people that he knows is going to come in, knows exactly what he wants and can hit the ground running. Because for a lot of players in that squad, there is going to be this adapting process of learning how I want to play, learning my style. Are they even capable of that style? He's looking at these signings that he wants. De Jong, people like Donny, before Timber, Anthony, etc. Those players he knows, I know that they can do what I want, and I know that they know what I want and know what I expect, so they can hit the ground running quickly. And I think it'll be the case with Donny. He's like a new signing, but more importantly, he knows exactly what I want. So I expect him to play against Brighton. I expect him to play a lot. The biggest fascinating thing I think with Donny is going to be pre-season. I hope he blows people away in pre-season. And I hope people can then go, oh, yes. You know, I hope we don't have to find out, can we see the old Donny halfway through the season? I hope it's clear enough in pre-season of, yeah, okay, we haven't seen him play like that before.
Yeah.
That would be the hope.
Preseason is actually really exciting this year. It's so key. It's so important. There's going to be so much eyes on preseason because, you know, when you get a new manager, you know, the first games that they start playing gives you an indication as to what they're trying to do. You know, if we see a completely different formation in the first couple of games, it's very unlikely that we'll play a certain way in preseason and get to the first home game against Brighton on the Sunday and just play a different formation. That's not what you do. It's not. Where I think I think Ten Hag, with how meticulous he is, I think he's going to come in on the 27th of June, you know, get them players. What's that? 5 days time? Wow, it's going quick. Get them players understanding exactly what he wants to do, what formation he wants to play. And I think we see it straight away from Liverpool. Then we see it in the second game against, can't remember the order. Is that Melbourne next and then Villa? I can't remember. But whatever the second game is, you know, we see the same formation again. Might be there are different players, obviously, you know, getting a chance and everyone getting a go, and some of the youngsters might play and this, that, and the other. But because there's no major tournaments, by the time we get to tour, should be the main guys playing most of it.
It should be. I was just thinking, I mean,
there shouldn't, you know,
27th of
playing all
June.
the way through.
Yeah, I'm
Because
just
some of
trying
the
to think
guys who
of
the Nations
yeah,
League, Maguire won't be there.
Ronaldo probably,
Ronaldo won't be there. Bruno won't be there.
Some of the South American players, Fred. I mean, they were doing international stuff as well, weren't they?
Yeah, but Telles.
But you know, those people that weren't
that,
involved, your Sanchos, your Rashfords, they'll all be there. You know,
De Gea, Varane didn't go. Luke Shaw didn't go.
Well, he got injured, didn't he? Varane got injured, came back.
Yeah,
pretty
so
quickly.
he's had ages to get better.
Yeah.
He should be back.
Should be.
Donny didn't get hey. Donny didn't get selected probably for Netherlands, so he'll be in there. Like you said, Rashford, Sancho, Martial will be back in there. He ain't getting in the French team. So it's pretty much all of our players, apart from it's only Maguire, Bruno, and Ronaldo, Fred and Telles.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
it speaks volumes, doesn't it?
Yeah, because the rest ain't there no more. Lingard, Pogba, Matic,
and it speaks volumes that we were so bad that a lot of people actually lost their international spots over the last season. Right until World Cup, that's what you want. Maybe that's why they don't want to join United either. Who can blame Timber?
Yeah.
Half the squad used to play in their international squads, now they don't anymore.
Yeah.
Why would I go there?
Yeah. Okay, we've got like 10 minutes left of the show, so we're going to keep it moving so we can get through the last couple of topics. Maguire's set to stay. Owen, what have you got on this? And then let me know your thoughts on this. And you guys get involved in the comments as well. So make sure you guys smash a like. We're nearly at 500 likes as well, by the way. Nearly 1,400 people watching, just under. Let's get up to 500. We're on 465. We can do that by the time Owen finishes giving us this bit of news. Let's go.
Yes, this comes from Chris Wheeler from the Daily Mail, who says that Manchester United are set to keep Harry Maguire, but will look to sign a new centre-back if, and it's a big if, they can offload Eric Bailly, Phil Jones, or Axel Twanzebe this summer? Now, to be honest, Flex, this shouldn't come as a massive surprise, should it, that Harry Maguire's set to stay?
No,
I think a lot of people
don't
in
think
an
that's ever in
ideal
doubt.
world, no, in an ideal world, people are, I'll get rid of him and he'll go. Whilst there is still the captaincy thing, which of course we'll get onto right at the end, he's obviously going to stay. So it shouldn't come as much as a surprise. I think that almost the bigger part of that is that bit at the end when it's saying that they are, or United do want to sign a centre back this summer if they can sell Bailly, Jones, or Twanzebe. And I look at them three and I would say, yeah, we do need to sell them, but there's not been much noise. Let's be honest. I mean, talking about prices, if you would sell all three, if you were to sell all three, Flex, how much do you think you'd be able to get for all three combined?
Bailly, Twanzebe, Jones.
Yeah.
That's a good question. So Bailly, I'm gonna say, bought him for 30. Hasn't been playing. Stock's fallen. 15, between 15 and 20. I'm gonna say 15 for Bailly.
Really?
Yeah, I'd like to get 20, but is that too much?
That's high. I think that's high. I'm not
10?
sure who's paying 50 million for Eric Bailly.
10? Not even with Man United tax, you can't get 15 for
Man
Bailly.
United tax only exists when we're buying players, not selling. That's the problem, isn't it?
My way off there, yeah? Okay.
I don't know. I mean, it's your opinion.
10, 15. Now, you make a good point. Between Josh saying 7 million. Nah, you go for double figures.
Yeah,
10.
I think if it was
10.
singles, if it was
I'll
single
say 10.
figures,
David
well,
Lee
wasn't it
says
rumored
8
like?
million.
Yeah, wasn't it rumored Newcastle were interested, but it was like 8 or something?
Yeah. Mortada says 12 million max. 12 million. All right, I'll flatline at 10. Phil Jones can't be anything more than 5. Can't be more than 5 million. It can't. So that's 15 million. Axel Tuanzebe is young. He's had a bit of experience, but not enough. Hasn't kicked on. Permanent. 10. 10. So what's
It's
that?
tough, isn't it? I think, yeah,
25
so
million
total 20,
altogether, did I say?
25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of
I
them
think
3
in
players, if
total,
that.
maybe you get 15, 20 million, all three, honestly. Really.
Curtis C says 25 million tops for all three. 10 million for Axel, says Seb B. Nick A says 6. Death by Stereo says 20 million for all. 4 million for Jones, says the Wavy Channel. And David Lee says 5 million. So yeah, there you go.
And again, I just go, but my point being with that is, so let's say we raise
20.
15, 20 million.
Yeah.
Is that enough for us to buy a new centre back? Maybe plus our budget, but our budget's going to be going towards Frankie and possibly Anthony. Is there going to be much left over when it comes to that?
Straight away.
Yeah,
Plus their wages
that's
as
what I
well.
mean. So I don't know. I'm not confident about signing that centre back this summer, which again is wild. Just because 3 or 4 weeks ago we were like, yeah, 5 signings. Ten Hag wants 5 signings. We talked about that yesterday. But these selling players, one, we haven't sold them yet, so I don't know how that's going to work. But 2, the price point really isn't that high as well. But going back to the Maguire situation, him staying, that's not a surprise. I think next summer, there absolutely could be a conversation about Harry Maguire.
I don't think he gets a new deal. Well, unless there's a miraculous turnaround where he's playing unbelievable. Man United are doing really well. And it's like, wow, this is the 85 million, which, let's face it, is that going to happen? Probably not. Almost certainly not. I wonder how long Harry Maguire's got on his deal, actually. I want to check that. Yeah. I want to just check.
Yeah, I believe it was something like 2018. He signed maybe like a 5-year deal with an optional year. I think it might have been. So we're talking maybe 2024. He might have like 2 years left. That's a guess. But while you're looking that up, just to continue about the captaincy part of it as well. So obviously Maguire
2025.
is 2025
for a further year as well.
God, he signed a long deal, didn't he? Jeez,
I think we give him a 6.
That's unbelievable. My goodness. But continuing this report from Chris Wheeler from the Daily Mail, he said that Eric Ten Hag plans to keep Maguire as one of his central defenders alongside Varane and Victor Lindelof, even though the captaincy now appears to be up in the air. Do you expect to see or hear any kind of captaincy announcement in the immediate future?
Immediate being maybe like
before tour.
Before tour.
Should it not be announced before tour?
I
I
think it
mean,
should be.
that's when the matches start.
Yeah, I
So,
think it should be. I think one of his. I would like to see Ten Hag straight away come straight in and just that I don't know when he's going to do his pressers when they get back into training or what the schedule is, the pre-tour presser, if you want to say. But I would like to see him say it then. But I just feel that he'll still keep his cards close to his chest in that first presser before we go to tour. I think we'll probably get an announcement while we're on tour or start seeing that maybe he doesn't have the captaincy during pre-season. It might be shared around a bit. I don't know. I think that's going to be
well, we
that's going to
just
be the
said
key
that
because
there might be a delay. There might be a
yeah.
delay of him coming back. So maybe they just
Ah,
go
that will help.
initially.
That will help.
Initially, they go, "Oh yeah, it's just," but Ronaldo won't be there. Oh, it's just De Gea at the moment but that's because Maguire isn't back yet or something
Yeah,
like that.
but then he
But I would
can. But
think
then you
Maguire
can
would be
phase
back
it
for
out.
tour. Maybe I would think Maguire would be back for tour.
Yeah, be back for tour. He'd definitely be
Yeah,
back for tour.
exactly.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
again, it's just when he makes that announcement because even if he decides to keep Maguire as the captain, it's such a big story that has to be kind of announced. He will get asked that question, and he was asked in the press conference, I believe, the first one. He just sort of went, "Oh, their discussions, blah blah blah." He kind of
Mm.
brushed it off and sidestepped. I don't even know if he properly answered it. Actually, oh yeah, that's when he said, "Oh, he's been very good for Man United in the past. He's a good player," but he didn't
No,
say anything about the captaincy. That was it.
no, he didn't.
Um, so.
I don't think he's going to be captain next year.
I don't think so either.
I
I
don't
think
think so. There was a point where I was saying I was pretty strong by it that I thought he would be. I've changed my opinion on that. I feel like Ten Hag will make a change there. I feel like he will. I've got a feeling it's going to be Ronaldo.
yeah, I feel like it will be Ronaldo. I
Yeah,
think.
I've got a
Um,
fean. I do,
yeah, I think
especially
that
when we're
he'll
not going to
make
get
that
a
announcement.
striker. Just give him the captaincy to make sure he stays. Uh,
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Also, with the poll earlier on today in the show, I'm trying to look for it actually. I think it's gone. I can't see it. Hold on a minute.
it was.
Can you see
Do
it?
you
Yeah.
think Ronaldo will leave this summer? The results were 72% said no and 27% said yes. We also
Mm.
missed a super chat from one of our newest members, Josh, MUFC Talk Football, saying, "You guys following United Down Under would love to meet up / discussion or have a discussion."
Yeah, we're not sure. Obviously, look, we're in our first year. It's tough to get out to Australia, and it's so far. And obviously, as you can imagine, it's a big commitment. We're just a small channel. We're trying to do what we can do, but I very much doubt that. But maybe next year, we can look to do something. But yeah, big up to anyone out there in Oz. I know you guys are avid Manchester United followers and people in Bangkok and Thailand as well. So big up to you guys as well, man. Amazing stream, loads of stuff to get through, which we got through. Everyone has been great. Did we get to that? We did. We got over 500 likes. That's a bare minimum. I do like that. These morning shows are becoming better and better, more engaging, more interactive. You guys are having your say more and more often. So big up to you guys. Keep building the community. And we'll be back with another video this evening, guys. Take care. We're out of here. Peace.